Hey guys, what is up? My name is CheapScissors and today I am bringing you a video about a new update coming to Royale very soon. Now, this update is on the PTS, the public test servers, and if you don't know what that is, I recommend trying it out. It is basically a place where you can test patches before they go in the game and give feedback, so anything new that's hitting the game will be there before it actually drops in the full game. In the Alpha Pass, even skins were shown in the PTS before you could even buy them in the full game, so everything that's coming to the game is always in there first. So in this patch, there were some somewhat big changes made, as well as some things to balance the game, and I think they're doing a good job. I think that some of this is maybe a little bit drastic, but some of it's also kind of cool. So the first thing in this patch that was changed that I think is pretty major, that I don't know if I like or not, I think it might be a little bit too drastic. Basically, previously, you had to take 500 damage before you would get knocked off your horse. So if you were running away from something or riding through a field, somebody would have to do more than sneeze on you for you to get knocked off your horse. But now the damage that you need to take to get knocked off your horse is 100 rather than 500. So if you want perspective on that, a green heirloom at a very far distance will be doing around 100 damage. And so you're going to be knocked off your horse very easily, and I think with reduced mobility of the warrior and other classes, I think that this will be big in competitive play especially, and I think that a lot more hit scan weapons will be carried around so you can just dismount people, because dismounting means that they're easier to kill because they're caught off guard in the open. Now, along with this, some other stuff was changed, and I've tested it out on PTS, and I can say that it's definitely different. I don't know how it will play because I was testing it in a deathmatch with 3 other people, so it was very hard to actually test. But overall, I don't know how I like it or not, but we're talking about the engineer thrust changes. So how this works confused me a lot at first. I was very confused on what was going on. It felt inconsistent. I actually thought that there were bugs. I thought it was a technical issue. But now after reviewing it and trying it out more, I understand how it works, and it's a little bit confusing. I hope they improve on the way they convey what's going on in the background, but it makes sense and it's kind of cool. So how this works is you have 2 thrusts now. Before, the thrust height was 25 and now it is 15, but you can use 2 within a short period of time. Now, where this gets a little tricky is the fact that you don't see your second thrust cooldown. You only see 1 cooldown, but there is a cooldown in the background for a second thrust. So if you have everything reset, then you use thrust once and you have about a second cooldown on that, and you can thrust again. So you can do this twice in a row to try to get to higher distances, or time it on your way down during combat. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. Now, the tricky part about this is that there's a background cooldown going on as well as a 7-second one, and so you're going to have to wait even longer if you want 2 thrusts at the same time. Now, you will be able to thrust again immediately when that cooldown reduces to 0, but then you'll have a 7-second cooldown again rather than having 2 thrusts available, one after 1 second. I do think that there definitely needs to be a way to signify that your second thrust is on cooldown or what's going on with it. I think that there needs to be more clarity as far as how to handle this, but besides that, I really like the mechanic and I really think that it's a lot better. Previously, if you were to thrust in any sort of open area like lumber or anything like that, and you were against good players, you could expect to not hit the ground alive, but now that there's this second thrust mechanic, you can still cover the same sort of distances vertically if you choose to, but you can also use a single thrust in combat to give you some sort of advantage or throw your enemy off guard without being so exposed. Personally, I think this is a great change, and I think that it was definitely necessary. The NG just did not feel as smooth or as fluid when you're using it in gameplay, and now it definitely feels a lot smoother and it feels a lot better. I think this will help a lot on the other side of the stick too, because if you're facing an NG that's directly above you, they don't have nearly as much time in the air to hit you with that plasma launcher or, get those shots off, because it is really hard to hit someone that's directly above you because the game's camera is kind of hard to maneuver straight up. Some other notable changes are that the revolver has a reduced refire time from 0.72 to 0.5, so you're going to be able to get those shots off faster. And they also reduce the damage, so that makes sense because you're going to get more shots off, but you're going to be doing a little bit less damage. So the revolver previously on gold level did 650 damage, and now it's doing 500, and keep in mind it still has damage fall off at distance. I personally don't care too much about this change because it doesn't really affect me. I don't use a revolver that often. It definitely was a powerful gun and still will be a decent weapon moving forward, but it's really just a preference thing. People just won't use it as much. I don't think it's going to be game breaking to change this. seconds. Going back to the NG, we also have another thing that will make the turret a little bit more viable. The deploy time is reduced from 3 seconds to 1 second. What this means is that before, when you put a turret up, it would take 3 seconds before it could fire its first shot, and now it will only take 1 second, which means it will do damage quicker and get up faster, and it's just going to be more useful overall. I still don't think that anybody's going to be choosing it over a healing totem or a barrier or a firebomb, but I guess it's alright, you know, a buff is a buff. So these are all the different changes that I want to talk about. We also have some new skins coming out that I'm going to talk about in a different video because we don't have any images actually, and they might come out soon, so I'll make a video as soon as that happens. But we do have the names of them, so as soon as that stuff comes out, I'll be making a video on the new skins approaching the game as well. And I think that wraps up this video. So if you like these videos, if you like these updates coming out as they happen, be sure to leave a like. Don't forget to comment to tell me what you think about these changes. If you think that they're too much, if you think that NG should have stayed how it was, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Let's start a discussion about that. And if you like receiving information about this game as soon as it comes out, then be sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, peace.